was like party people in the place to be. If you're hearing this voice first, you're like, who was this? I'm not the host with the most, but I'm your boy Hollywood Ray with my guy Hollywood Cass. Before we get into the show, make sure that you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If this is your first time listening to us, we thank you for tuning in. You won't be disappointed. But yeah, find us on on YouTube, find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, all of those streaming platforms. So, Mr. Cass, how you doing tonight?
I have a little bit of computer problems, but still want to do the live show, so I'm here.
Yeah, I'm like, I know it's always when you about to do something, just like whoop, it's like something shuts down. Like me, I had to relaunch Chrome, whatever, something happened on here, so I'm like, that's okay. So I'm actually glad that we started a little bit later than we were supposed to, but yeah, let's get right into it. It's all things NFL. Another great weekend of football. Some surprises there. But we'll start with the Saturday game. So you had Baltimore and uh, Houston, and then you had Green Bay, versus San Francisco. So we'll go in order. So we'll start with Baltimore and Houston. Were you surprised with that outcome as far as the final score? And then just what did you see from Lamar on Saturday? Um, that you took away.
Pretty much that Lamar Jackson is, in fact, the runaway MVP of the league. I was saying it was Tyreek Hill for the longest until he got hurt. Then he couldn't beat Calvin Johnson's record. Otherwise, he would have got it. But, I mean, Lamar Jackson finally, and quoting Steve Young, getting that monkey off his back. He finally won a playoff game. He's finally in the AFC champ game. So kudos to Lamar Jackson. And I kind of expected this slaughterhouse just because Baltimore – their defense, I think, is either number one or top three in the league. So the
Mm-hmm.
fact that they went after a rookie quarterback, I have my pretty good odds. I should have placed some bets on that Saturday game because they were just all over the place. Dave Flowers was looking like he is a professional, but he was looking like a third-year pro. Like he was duking and diving through all those Texan secondary. I mean, there's not really much Houston could have did, and I mean, it is what it is, but it's a good learning experience for CJ Stroud and everyone else that was there. It's probably a different story if Tank Dell was there, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean they might have scored more, but I do think Baltimore was the most prepared. They claim so. Thank you, Hunter. Appreciate that, man. Um, so Hunter Class saying also streams. So yeah, appreciate that as well. Yeah, I think that they would have scored a little bit more, obviously, had they been in full strength. But I just think sometimes when it's your time, and Baltimore once again obviously had played it really well from that Detroit game early on, until now, right? So, and ironically, we could see Ravens Lions in a couple of weeks, so we'll get into that, shortly. But yeah, yeah, Baltimore just came out going crazy, and Lamar did it through the air. He did it with his feet, and for those that have been screaming about him not being a decent playoff performer, and can he ever get it done? Will he ever get it done? He became one step closer on Saturday. Um, I won't go as far as the Steve Young statement, because that Steve Young statement was in the Super Bowl. Uh, so but it's like he did get one step closer. So hopefully he doesn't get the Montgomery back completely and win. But like we'll get into that when we give our predictions for next week. But I was happy for Baltimore. Um, once again, it just seems to be their time. But like I said, we'll get into that later on. But on to the Saturday night game, man. This was closer than I think people thought it was going to be. Which I don't know why people thought people should have been surprised because of what they did to Dallas the previous week. But San Francisco wins. They eked out a win 24-21. So what were your thoughts about that game there?
I didn't think it was going to be that close. I kind of thought the Packers were going to come out with a little bit more scoring,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, the Niners didn't really look that great. It's just that Jordan Love made like two key mistakes to kind of end the Packers' run with that late interception, I think in the fourth. And then I think there was one there was one play where it was like a drop third down. I was like, oh, you have to catch that. I think it was in that game, but I mean, Romeo Dobbs, whoo, man, he is definitely Jordan Love's favorite receiver, looking like down driver out there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's going to be a good duo. Aaron Jones was pretty much just, pounding the ball. So hopefully he keeps that out going forward. But, I mean, that's pretty good for the Packers. I mean, they did what they could. I mean, it just shows the Niners aren't really that great. But it just got away in the second half right here for C.J. Stroud is him. Green Bay did everything to win, but they also did everything to give the game away. The second half, missed kicks, turnovers. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I would. Well, this won't be. Well, it wasn't. He wasn't in the Packer uniform when this happened, but I was waiting for the pack to hear the Packer announcer do what the guy in Minnesota did. Like, this is not Detroit. You can't make that throw. I was I was waiting for that type of rant, but we didn't get that. Maybe they were just happy to be there. But that can't be the narrative when you were literally a throw away from potentially being in the NFC Championship game. Like that can't be the major takeaway. But I mean, once again, they are the Texans of the NFC. They had a hell of a run. And but never forget, Aaron Rodgers told you guys he couldn't win with that roster. He did. So he sat there and said to you guys, I can't do X, Y. I can't do something with Romeo Dobbs. I can't do something with Christian Watson. I can't do it. Well, I don't know if Luke Musgrave was a rookie this year, but obviously Aaron Jones has been there for a number of years. So he said to you blatantly, I can't win with this group of talent. So hey, they got a building block there. I think next year they come in. They should be at the least the NFC North favorites, especially if Kirk Cousins is going to be leaving Minnesota for other for greener pasture. So, but yeah, Green Bay did well. But yeah, you're right. San Francisco just seemed, and it's not. I don't think it's just Purdy. I think it's really just the whole team. Like if everything is not going correctly, it's you see a little bit of a chink in their armor, so to speak. So, they got to figure it out for next week. Because that team is riding high off their coach's messages, and they are alive and well in the 3-1-3. So so we'll get to them shortly. But yeah, and congrats to San Fran and Baltimore, who many think are going to be the Super Bowl matchup for winning on Saturday. So any last words on either one of those games before we move on to the Sunday games?
I mean, the fact that Nick Bosa had to literally get on his knees and pray that they had to win the game is pretty scary in the bad sense. That if you're doing that against Green Bay, how are you going to react to Detroit, who you just said is on this incredible high right now, the Dan Campbell era? So that's definitely a little concerning if you have one of your best players is praying pretty much that they beat the Green Bay Packers, who, I mean, Jordan Love had a better rookie year than Aaron Rodgers by I think it was 182 yards and a few less interceptions, I think. But they got something special in Green Bay. And again, as far as the Texans are concerned, they are definitely going to be in the playoffs for a few years to come. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, so let's move to the Sunday game. So, Tampa Bay versus Detroit, man. Detroit once again wins not one but two playoff games in a single season. They're now going to the NFC Championship game. They beat Tampa Bay 31-23. So, just what were your thoughts on that game there?
The fact that they won this game and Facebook, the PlayStation, there was no iPods the last time they went to the NFC Champ game is insane. Yeah. And can we give credit to Peyton Manning? The fact that he literally got rid of the Bobby Lane curse. He literally did it on Peyton's places last year. He got a tub of whiskey. He got the Detroit Lions helmet. Pretty much voodooed his magic and got rid of the Bobby Lane curse. Can we just give Peyton Manning a statue out in Ford Field? Because I would.
Well, no, the stats is going to be a Jared Goff and Dan Campbell if they mess around and win the whole thing. So, or at least even get there, right? Because I mean, I don't think once again there's been Super Bowls at Ford Field, but they like I said they had not even inched near a Super Bowl appearance in a very long time. So, but I thought about my homegirl Timmy. I think about Ray Lynn, who's been on the show. They hadn't seen a Lions playoff victory, they're in their adult lives. So, it's been a long time since Barry Sanders was the guy, and doing the thing. So, it's shout out to my homegirl Kayla too, who's in Miami. Like I know y'all are lit. All y'all stories all weekend or all yesterday was just like, the Detroit versus everything and what up though, and so yeah, so I know y'all lit because like I said that I know it. Yeah, probably in disbelief, and I remember. I mean, it's a whole different scenario, but I remember. No, something because I'm like the Patriots didn't win before 01. And they had been close before, but it was always it was bad franchises, and for them, I think if for them it probably feels like how Patriots felt like in 01. It was like I can't believe this is happening. Like they've won a couple of playoff games. Like they're actually they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Like this is insane. So yeah, but no, enjoy the moment. It is there's nothing like going on that type of run, especially when it hasn't happened in a while. So it definitely captivates the city. So I was excited for them there. But what do you think happens next with your boy Baker? What do you think happens with him next?
I just saw that he's going to probably sign a long-term extension with the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that's a wise move because it looks like they have a lot of key free agents that are either not going to be back or they're not going to have enough money to re-sign them. I know Mike Evans is a free agent, Levante David, Devin White, Chase Edmonds, the kicker, I believe, is a free agent. There's a few other guys that are kind of key importance to the Buccaneers,
Yeah.
but I think it's going to be his permanent home though. I mean, he's been bounced around the league. He's been on his fourth team in 4 or 5 years. So I think he's gonna find a home in Tampa, but I don't think they're gonna be going to the playoffs anytime soon, especially if they don't have enough money and cap space to get the guys that they need. But did you see the meme with 8 Mile where it's Jared Goff rolling into San Fran and it's got Eminem and everyone in the beat up car? That was pretty funny. But I do think though Jared Goff's gonna get a very good extension. Jameson Williams, he was a little bit flat going in the beginning of the season, but he finally found his groove in the playoffs. Sam Laporta is that guy for them for the tight end wise, and Dan Campbell is doing what most teams should have been doing with their rebuilds. The guy literally said he was going to bite the kneecaps off and such in his press conference, and we all laughed at him. And now look at him; he's literally in the NFC Championship game, and he was on that 0-16 Lions team.
Yeah, so I'm sure Orlovsky's happy for him. I'm sure that Calvin Johnson's happy for him. Even I know he lost against them, but I'm even sure Matt Stafford's happy for them, right? It would have been even more cinema had it been Rams Lions in the NFC Championship game to get to the Super Bowl. That would have been crazy.
True,
but that's yeah. I feel for Jamal Williams though. I wish he was there. I wish Jamal Williams was there, man. Like, he helped turn around that culture. Like he deserved to have that moment there in Detroit, having a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Like I just feel like he deserved that, and I hate that he had to leave. And I get it; it's a business; you have to get your money. But I wish that he was there, getting this because, like I said, he was a part of the rebuild, and like I said, they've picked at the top a lot, recently, and they've done what they need to do. They got the right coach. I know Miami Dolphin fans are sick too because they weren't a big fan of Dan Campbell, and I'm like, those that listen, and I'm like, if you listen and you say otherwise, you're lying. I live down there. I know. It was exciting because when he replaced Joe Philbin, because Joe Philbin was just a lame duck. Um, but when they replaced Joe Philbin, and then came in there talking, that's how they were hyped. And then the team didn't do as good, and it was like, oh, he's not the guy either. He's not the motivator that he came off to be. Well, guess what? Years later, the man's one game away from the Super Bowl, and y'all and my guess what, Miami Dolphin fans, y'all still haven't won a playoff game since me and Aaron was in the sandbox.
Jay Fielder.
So, well, no, that's I mean, well, that was what, maybe in the early 2000s, maybe.
That was
And then,
2000. Yeah, that was
yeah,
about 24 years ago. He's the last
so,
Miami Dolphins
so
quarterback to win a
yeah,
playoff game.
so you was probably in the second or third grade. I was in the fifth grade. So come on.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So it's a joke. So was and or no, I'll save my next comment for after we get to the next game. But it's just there's a lot of talking amongst the AFC East fans bases, and I'll address that after this next game. So last but not least, one right. And I'm like, now you wasn't born yet when the first one happened. I was only a year old, or maybe 2 years old. But Buffalo, baby, Mr. Circle the Wagons, yeah, it's too familiar. It's too familiar of an action to hear. He missed it. He missed it. Tyler Bass, aka Scott Norwood, Jr. Uh, misses the field goal at the 1 minute and 43 second mark as the Buffalo Bills fell to the reigning defending Super Bowl champions Kansas City Chiefs 27-24. So give me your thoughts on that game and what happens with Buffalo going forward.
I mean, I hate Pat Mahomes because he literally needed 6 more rushing yards, and I would have won $200 on my parlay. So fuck you, Pat Mahomes. I would have had $200. But I mean, Stephon Diggs, he's supposed to be your number one receiver, right? He's supposed to be your alpha. Non-existent the last 10 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
It seems like Josh Allen is relying on Dalton Kincaid, a rookie, or I believe I don't know if he's a rookie or a second year, but Shakir, the other receiver for the Bills, relying on him. Gabe Davis obviously is hurt or just non-existent in that roster anymore.
Well, he was out. He was hurt Sunday.
He was hurt still? Okay. Yeah. James Cook, though, definitely blossomed in his second year with the Buffalo Bills. They actually finally have a running game. And I don't know if you agree. I think it was like Dan Orlovsky or just ESPN in general. They were saying that this is pretty much the last ride with Josh Allen, that this is like the worst loss of his career, that he's not going to be able to come back from this. I don't necessarily think so. I just think that Sean McDermott I feel like Sean McDermott's time is kind of running out in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Well, so I feel like his seat is definitely going to be hot. Stephon Diggs, I don't think he's going to be back in Buffalo. I just saw someone put up where you think he would be. I actually joked and said Kansas City because, I mean, why not? You'd be the number one. But, I mean, I don't understand what happened with Buffalo. It's like as if Brian Dable was the offensive coordinator there. They were riding high. They were stopping Pat Mahomes or getting the job done. Then once the second half kicked off, Isaiah Pacheco was going off. Travis Kelce had a touchdown. We got Jason Kelce in the stands without a shirt on, going crazy for him. I mean, I feel bad for all the people in Buffalo that were shoveling for the last 2 weeks for $20 an hour. They were there till about 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning for this Buffalo Bills team. And I want to say for the Buffalo Bills fans, just because they are crazy, how fucking dare you give death threats to Tyler Bass that he has to deactivate everything off his social media network? Yeah, he missed one field goal. Obviously, it was in a clutch situation, but they did have a minute and some odd left. But it's not just Tyler Bass who did not win this game for Buffalo. It was Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, James Cook, the defense. You can't say, oh, they were out with like 4 linebackers. Well, you know what? AJ Klein came back. He's been in the system. He was great in the wild card game. Had I think 11 or 12 tackles. He was out there. They have other linebackers. Tyler Medikevich is out there. He's a special teams linebacker, but he's still a linebacker. very good hitter at Temple. They could have used him. So I don't want to hear this with Tyler Bass that it was all his fault. I mean, he is a contributor, but the entire Buffalo team floundered in the second half when they could have put away the Chiefs.
That's all I can do is laugh. No, hold on. So let me before I get into my jokes, I'm not clowning death threats. So let me be clear about that. So because people get them, oh, you think it's funny? No, it's not funny if someone got death threats. However, I think it's funny that he missed the field goal. I think it's funny that Bills Mafia was talking crazy, that Finch Up was talking crazy, that the New York Jets fans were talking crazy. And what do you know? At the end of the day, you're still on the couch like my New England Patriots. Buffalo, you've never won a Super Bowl. Matter of fact, you lost not one, not two, not three, but 4 in a row. You lost 4 in a row. The Jets, I mean, my God, the original LBJ and not LeBron James. We're talking Lyndon B. Johnson was your president when you won the Super Bowl. Are you kidding me? Broadway Joe rocking mink fur coats to the Broadway club. It's not that time anymore. Then for Miami, you haven't won the Super Bowl since the Cocaine Cowboys era. Oh, sorry. Well, no, I'm sorry. You lost in the cocaine era. That was in the 80s. You lost in 84, but you haven't won since the 70s when the cartel was probably running rampant out there. So, hey, but hey, at least you can still hold on to the undefeated season. You and Mercury Morris can have his little wine at the end of the year, but it's been 50 years. 50 years. My dad had an afro the last time y'all won.
Oh, wow.
My mom was wearing Catholic girl skirts to school. So last time y'all won. So to me, it's amazing how much y'all talk as different fan bases. But I've seen 6. Actually, I've witnessed 10. I've witnessed my team go to 10 Super Bowls of my lifetime. 10 of them. 10 of them. And you were lucky to get 10 wins at times in the division. Be humble. Y'all talk about Patriots fans need to be humble. No, the Bills fans, Jets fans, Dolphin fans, y'all need to be humble because y'all had a cute little run and y'all are realizing, damn, it's hard when you're the hunter and not the hunter. Now you're learning. Now you're learning. So, I feel no sympathy for what happened to Tyler Bass on the field. Once again, on the field, I feel no sympathy for Jets fans. I feel no sympathy for Dolphins because it was a lot of talk. Their time's finally gone. You're never doing anything. Okay, funny. You guys are stacked up, and you have done nothing either. You've done nothing at all. You haven't even got to a well, the Bills did get to a championship game, and I think in 2020, but you've lost to Kansas City. My guy, number 12. He hasn't lost. He hasn't lost to Mahomes in the playoffs, and he'll never beat him because he's retired.
Well, that's not true. He did lose to Mahomes in the playoffs in the Super Bowl, I believe.
No, he beat.
Mahomes. Oh no, he beat the Niners.
He
didn't beat them.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, no. Trust me, that feeds my narrative. So no, I definitely know about that. He beat when it mattered most. He got him. So. That's and that's what you talk about with LeBron and Jordan. You talk about y'all talk about, he got no. My guy got him when it mattered most. So you can't. So by y'all logic, you can't say that he's better than that guy. By y'all logic, once again, I don't always agree with that logic. I think it's dumb. But for this argument, y'all say if you didn't beat him, he can't be better than him. So y'all can't say that he's the best ever. We never beat who people think is the best ever, or the majority think is the best ever.
And put some respect on Tom Brady's dad's name, who wore number 10 up in East Rutherford. Never lost.
Yeah, but no, people should be thankful because once again, there really would be no debate. If that man had 8, well, I mean, he still got 7, but It's like, oh, it would have been what? It would have been 9
The
then.
9.
It would have been 9. So he's what? And like that's what would have killed me. If say if he did get 9, I know this is off topic, but whatever. It's fun. It's fun banter. Say if he did get to 9 and he went 9-1, and the one was against Philly, you would still have people say that there's somebody now, whether it's Mahomes, Allen, whoever, they would say, "Oh, he's better than Brady." How? How can you say that? How can you say that? And once again, it's not just the numbers. It's not like what would get me upset at times with some fans that weren't Giants fans. A lot of y'all spoke about Tom Brady as if he was the Robert Ory of quarterbacks, and that would bother me. And once again, I don't mean to have Robert Ory catch a stray, because it's not about that. But just follow me where I'm going. People get on Robert Ory. Oh, he was in the right time in the right place. Da da da. Brady had the numbers and they won. How can you, if you want to say the first 3 was a manager, fine, whatever, cool. But from 05 on, he was the guy every year. It wasn't like, oh, it might be this guy. Every year, this man was the guy. It didn't always result in him winning the championship, but you had to go through them to win. So I don't know. To me, that people just, I have a hard time listening to any fan base trash Tom Brady outside of the Giants. I can't respect it. I can't, because I'm just like, he beat everybody else. You can't say you just can't talk the shit. You can't. Y'all lost him every time. So, and we're not talking about the regular season. We're in the playoffs. Like I laugh at Pittsburgh when Pittsburgh Steelers fans trash Brady. I go ballistic, because I'm just like, whether it was Drew Bledsoe, Michael Bishop. There's a name drop for you. If it was Scott Zola, whoever, it does not matter. You have not beaten New England when it mattered. Even this year, when they sucked and they were one of the worst teams in the league, you still couldn't win. So what does that say? Y'all will never ever you would never ever. What was that song? You never ever get on my level. Like you would never get on. You would never get on New England's level, Pittsburgh, ever. I don't care if it's Tom, Terry Bradshaw, whoever. Y'all can't beat us. So I just had to get that out there. I had to
This
get that
got
out.
to a Patriots rant real quick. We haven't had one of those in a while.
Yeah, I had to get that off my chest. I just thought about it, because I'm just like, everybody in the AFC East went home early. And I'm just like, once again, Pittsburgh, all the rivals that we've had, everybody went home early. So I'm just like, hey, but at least you had a chance to cheer and be happy the regular season, and we made the playoffs. Yay! You're going home early. If you're not raising the Lombardi or have a chance to raise the Lombardi, it's a failure. You're a failure.
Well, there is one rivalry of the Pats that is still in the playoffs. That is the Ravens. So
Yeah.
yeah.
They always not always got us, but they were the scariest team for us. I would say, I could say that. And if any Pats fans, like, maybe besides Denver, but yeah, Baltimore was always a tough out. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, so that's a good segue into next week. So obviously, the NFC Championship games will take place next Sunday. The AFC game, I think, is at 3. Excuse me, I believe, and then the NFC game is at 6:30. So, yeah, Lamar, Pat Mahomes, what are your keys to the game on this one here?
I think for the Ravens, the key game is to put your foot on the gas and never let go. Because we just saw it, like we just talked about in the Buffalo game. Buffalo's riding a little high. They were circling their wagons. They let off the gas a little bit. Pat Mahomes was coming back. Pacheco was doing what he needed to do. The defense was making good stops. So if Lamar Jackson and this Ravens team can keep that foot on the gas, John Harbaugh's been here before in the AFC Championship games. He's going to tell Lamar, listen, just play your game, do what you need to do. Listen, and if you need to watch Michael Vick highlight tapes, go watch Michael Vick highlight tapes. Do whatever you need to do to win this game against Pat Mahomes, because if you mess up only once, it only takes one time. You mess up against Pat Mahomes once, it's over. And with the Chiefs, they need to establish their dominance literally in the first 3 drives.
Yeah.
If they don't do that, it's over. They don't have receivers like they used to in the Super Bowl runs that they had or deep playoff runs. Travis Kelce is your main guy, and he's a little ever since he's with Taylor Swift. Rasheed Rice, he is your best receiver, and which sucks because he's a rookie. But he is a big moment for him. He has not been in these big moment games before, so he might have the yips. I mean, McCole Hardman, who has been here, which we didn't talk about, with the little fumble right there at the 1 yard line, which I have no idea why Andy Reid did that for McCole Hardman. I would have just used Pacheco, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
He's
I
a
wonder if
veteran,
the
but
rules are
he's
going to
just
change
mid.
though. No, so I wonder if that rules are going to change.
I don't think so. I don't think they will. If the Chiefs lost, probably, because we've seen it with the Patriots when rules like that happens with them, they change.
Whoa! Don't, we don't have to go back that far. It happened in the same game. It happened in that same game a couple years ago because with the overtime rules, things. Yeah. So okay, fine, whatever.
But yeah, so that's my kind of takeaways for this game. But I actually have Lamar Jackson defeating Pat Mahomes. I think he's 1-3 against him all time.
Yeah.
Against Pat Mahomes. So I have him lifting up that trophy.
So I think I used the same argument last week, but I'll switch it. Maybe the argument goes here where maybe Lamar is Peyton to Mahomes being Brady, right? I said it to Chris that's on the page, that's on the Sports Nation page, yeah. So I said to him on his personal page, I said, I feel like this is an 06 Patriots run where people are still going to be fearful because it's y'all and you come in there and, I think Kansas City is going to do what New England did. They're going to be up. And then all of a sudden Indianapolis caught fire against us. And I think all of a sudden Baltimore may catch fire. Now, they're not a play from behind type offense, meaning Baltimore. So I do think this is where he's going to have to use his legs. I feel like you have to find a way to negate Chris Jones. Trent McDuffie's probably going to be on Zay Flowers, I feel like. So I think that's going to be a really good matchup as well. But, yeah, I think this is the time where it happens. But, once again, because he is the best of his era, meaning Patrick Mahomes, it's hard to bet against them. But I'm like, if there's a game that they could lose, and once again, I know we had said that last week, but if there's a game today, if they don't come out swinging, that they could, follow the game early, it could be this Sunday. So even though I'm picking Baltimore, I would not be surprised if Kansas City comes in there and wins again.
Yeah, I feel like something stupid's gonna happen where like it's really gonna change the game. Like if we go back like the Clemson Ohio State where they called that a fumble when he took more than 3 steps, but because it was Clemson at that time, they gave it to him. I feel like something like that's gonna happen. That's gonna change the trajectory of this entire game. But I still have Baltimore.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. And then in the late game, we got Detroit versus San Francisco. So who do you got there?
I'm riding with the Lions. You know what? Fuck it. I'm riding with the Lions. I hate the Niners. Brock Purdy is a jag. I don't care what anybody has to say. Me and you can play quarterback for this team, and everything's going to be solid. Plus, Deebo Samuel, I believe, is hurt with his shoulder, so I'm not sure if he's going to play in this. If he is, he's going to be very limited. Because, from what it looked like, when he got hit in that game against the Packers, he didn't come back, and he was in sweats. So it must be more serious than we think it is. But even if he does suit up, he's not going to make that big of a contribution. Chase Young is non-existent since he was on the Niners, or came on the Niners, I should say, from Washington. So I got Detroit in this one. They have a very good offensive line. I think prediction is that Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to go off in this game. And I do wish, again, we said earlier, that the swag Kazekage, Jamal Williams, is on this team. David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, 1-2 punch is amazing. It is literally almost, for me, it's almost a Brandon Jacobs, Ahmad Bradshaw tandem.
Okay.
Or if you want to go even further, we can go Tiki Brandon Jacobs.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, I have San Francisco winning it. I just feel like I don't see. I don't. And once again, this is just me being cynical. I don't know if if Uncle Roger is going to let Detroit get to the Super Bowl. Ratings wise, it makes sense for Baltimore, San Fran. It doesn't make sense for it doesn't make sense for Baltimore, Detroit, or Kansas City, Detroit. It has to be well. Kansas City would draw because of Mahomes, but I'm saying like it has to be San Francisco.
I
Um,
mean, it does make sense with Detroit though, because I mean, you think about it, the '07 Giants should not have been there. That was a pretty good comeback story.
right, exactly. Yeah, that. But also the Giants are part of the original six. Like Detroit's, you know what I'm saying. I get it.
Yeah, I
Maybe
guess.
maybe it is a story that okay, it's like from hosting Thanksgiving to now hosting the Super Bowl. Like, I mean that would be cool, but I don't know. I just say to me it's gonna be Baltimore and San Fran in the end. And we do have some breaking news just popped up. So former Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan has now been appointed the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. So thoughts on that?
I expected that because they had Mike Vrabel for all those years, defensive minded guy, which it didn't make any sense that like Aaron Glenn was going out there. I mean, obviously Rooney Rule. I mean, we all know that, but I didn't think they were going to get another defensive coordinator. I think it's going to be good for D Hop. I think they'll kind of keep him stay there, help out the development of Will Levis. So we've seen what happens with Joe Burrow and all them over
Right.
in Cincinnati. So I think that's a good hire for him. I'm curious as to if Derrick Henry, though, is going to stay. I don't think he will. I'm just curious as to what this offense is going to look like now because I think when Zach Taylor calls the games for the Bengals, it's just no good.
Yeah, I guess Rappaport reported that they're looking in house. So the QB coach Dan Pitcher um, may be someone that could be a candidate to replace O'Halloran. So
I can see that.
we'll see. But well, let's stay there with that with coaches. So um, are you surprised that Bill hasn't had any other interviews for the head coaching job?
Well, I did see with the Falcons, they liked them a lot. I think they're just still going to interview other coaches. I'm not really surprised though because Bill Belichick is too old school, whereas everyone else is interviewing for these jobs has adapted to the NFL. It's literally like Moneyball, adapt or die. And I think Bill hasn't really adapted too well to this new age of the NFL, and his track record as GM Bill Belichick is atrocious. The fact that you're drafting guys like Sony Michel over Nick Chubb or N'Keal Harry over AJ Brown, that kind of hurts your stock a little bit. But I mean, shout out to Coach AP. I believe it was the last episode we were vouching for him to become the head coach of the Raiders. So
Mm-hmm.
kudos to him. I believe Marvin Lewis is going to stay on the team. So I don't know if he's going to be the D coordinator like it was in Baltimore, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
not really sure what role is going on there. But and also too, shout out Tom Coughlin. He will be the personnel over there in Vegas. So they just need a general manager. I saw Tom Telesco was interviewing for the Raiders job. So that was a
That's
little
wild.
that's funny. And also, to shout out ex Penn State linebacker / assistant GM who became the new GM for the Carolina Panthers, Dan Morgan. So he will be leading the flock there in Carolina to figure out who their new head coach is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And former Notre Dame quarterback who turned Notre Dame offensive coordinator, Alabama offensive coordinator, Tommy Reese will be the new Freddie Kitchens up in Cleveland. He'll be the new tight end coach for the Cleveland Browns. But yeah, but to kind of circle back to Bill Belichick, I don't really see him as a head coach. And if it is, it's going to be the Falcons. I don't really see any other team biting on him. And shout out to Wink Martindale, lost the job as defensive coordinator for the Jaguars to the ex-Falcons defensive coordinator who is now on Doug Peterson's staff. I forgot his last name, but he edged out Wink Martindale. So fuck that
Yeah.
guy.
And even I think Ron Rivera interviewed with the Eagles as well. I saw that earlier too. So
Yep.
which I mean, once again, Ron Rivera as a defense D coordinator was awesome.
He was very good for the Chargers in 2010.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I feel like he he can definitely get that job done in that role. So I think that would be a good look for them if if he does that. But yeah, I fully expect that hiring to happen with Bill. To just say, hey, we're gonna bring you on in Atlanta, and then just go from there. I just think it's a weak division, so that's why he's going down there. If that's the case.
I mean, he's doing what Tom Brady did, so why not?
Well, I mean, also, but it's the same thing with him. Not many teams ran after Brady the way people thought it was going to happen. I think it was Tennessee. I think it was maybe Vegas, and then they chose Tannehill and Derek Carr over Brady.
Do
And
you believe that the San Francisco 49ers were actually looking at Tom Brady last year to come on to be their quarterback when Brock Purdy was hurt? I really don't believe
I don't
that.
I don't I don't I don't I don't think so. That would have been, you want to talk about the ultimate plot twist though. And then we for sure would have saw 49ers and Chiefs.
Oh, absolutely.
They would have been like, look, hometown kid, Kim Mahomes finally beat it. Oh yeah, the storylines would have been crazy. So yeah, there probably was some truth to it, but maybe they spoke to the locker room and the locker room wasn't fully on board. Once again, I think if he was about 39 or 40, like how Aaron Rodgers was, I think absolutely they'd have been like, hey, get him over here. But I mean, the man's gonna be 47 in August, and it's just like enough's enough. Even though, like I said, he never really fell off the cliff that Max Kellerman and others had alluded to. The man won 2 more Super Bowls after, and then broke multiple records since then. So, and once again, him at 44, he was better than some guys at 27. So, dude he just delivered whenever he needed to. But yeah, but no, I don't think that would have worked. I mean, once again, they have a great line, meaning San Fran, and he has never had a Trent Williams. Once again, this is not a knock on Matt Light.
Whoa, yeah,
Yeah, he's
whoa.
not
I think
on Matt
Matt Light
Light.
is just as good as Trent Williams.
Trent Williams is that dude. Brady probably could have played to 60 with a guy like Trent Williams at left tackle. So
wow,
that's just, yeah. But yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
Do you think Jim Harbaugh will get a job in the NFL, or is he just doing this that way Michigan can give him whatever he wants for money, money wise?
Yeah, it looks like the Chargers are the only team that's really been actively pursuing him.
One of the Falcons interviewed him twice, I believe.
Yeah, I don't see that. I see him going to the Chargers before going to the Falcons. I don't see that working like that. But maybe he is doing that just to drive up the price. I don't blame him if that's the case. Get your money.
Oh, also, Coach Eric Bieniemy interviewed for the Washington job, and they said that they really loved his interview. So I'm surprised he still hasn't gotten a job yet. I mean, obviously he had Sam Howell as his quarterback, which did well, but that offensive line was one of the worst in the NFL. So
how about this? I will believe it when I get the breaking news like on my phone saying, "Hey, Eric Bieniemy is the new head coach." I don't care about the interview. I need him hired. So get him hired. Or hey, we're looking. Oh, speaking of that. Zach Robinson, we interviewed you. It's time. We drafted you. It's time to come back home. Come back home, be the OC. I love that they're looking to hire younger coaches. I love that. Bill O'Brien, see ya. I'm glad. Take your ass back to Ohio State, whatever. I think it's pretty wild when you coached at Penn State. Now you're going to that's wild.
Such a Ryan Day move, though. I'm kind of surprised Brian Hartline isn't taking over for the offensive coordinator position. I feel like he's a really good wide receivers coach for over there.
Right, because he was a wide receiver.
I feel like I know that. I'm just saying, I think he would have been a good offensive coordinator if you've seen from what he's done with these receivers at Ohio State. Come on, I know Brian Hartline.
No, I know.
Dolphin. Come on, man.
For those who aren't tapped in like that, yes, Brian Hartline played for the Dolphins back in the day. But yeah, oh my God, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm ready to hear what do you call it? I'm just ready. I'm ready for some notifications that Zach Robinson, you're hired. Bill Belichick, you're hired. And just like my boy Rick said to me earlier, we want the hire for Atlanta to happen for Bill, so that he could take whatever scrubs he wants takes from here, take them, take them and bring them down to Atlanta, and have a blast. You know, but
I don't think he will.
well, no, 'cause I know this. He's probably gonna say, if that's the case, he'll take Uche with him. Fine, take Uche.
He's not good though. Bill knows that. He's not going to be like, "Oh, come on down."
No, listen, he's had Van Noy come back a few times. He like certain players.
That's different though. Van Noy actually produced.
Certain players he irrationally likes. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if Uche joins him down there. Um, Kraft is not probably going to let Judon go. Judon probably comes back after the injury. Um, Obviously, you get Gonzalez coming back or whatever. So, yeah, I just know take whoever, take Miles Bryant with you, Bill. Take Miles Bryant with you down to Atlanta. Let him enjoy the lemon pepper wings and Magic City.
I wanted to touch on one thing before we go.
Hmm.
Obviously, Sports Illustrated is no more. So they fired everyone. I believe it was last week. The entire sports team. So Sports Illustrated is officially done. It is not coming back. So, do you have any favorite Sports Illustrated covers or a certain type of Sports Illustrated?
The one that comes to mind is uh the Randy Moss Kevin Garnett one, that crossover. Um, I mean, they were two of the young stars in Minnesota at the time, and really were having a resurgence in Minnesota at that time. Minnesota went 15-1 that year, and obviously, KG and Marbury were a thing before Marbury got dealt to New York. But yeah, that's one that sticks to mind. Um, I even remember the oh gosh, the LeBron James one was pretty cool too. And yeah, so before we go any further on the SI talk, just make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Like the video so that we can get into the algorithm more. As you see on the bottom ticker, we have all our handles on social media, so just make sure that you're following us there, so that you don't miss anything that we're putting out. So back to SI, but yeah, it was LeBron cover, KG and Randy Moss. Um, I feel like there was a something one I'm missing. They might have did one the year they won in 08, but those are two that come to mind right away.
Nice. Yeah, I actually used to have a lot, especially for the '90s, because of my stepdad. So I had the one where it was the Giants Oakland World Series with the earthquakes. I had I think there was a Ralph Sampson one, I believe. I had there was there was obviously David Tyree one. I believe there was also a KG Sports Illustrated where he was dunking on the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. I believe that was the Sports
Mm.
Illustrated.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I loved ESPN the Mag as well, but I feel like Sports Illustrated was a lot better. And also, too, back in the '90s ones, they had a ton of cigarette promos in there, and
Mm.
I thought that was pretty funny. A lot of Newports in the in a sports magazine, but I believe also there was a Jason Kidd one at one point when he was on the Mavs, not the Mavs, the Nets. So that one was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm kind of sad that it's going. There's a lot of good history within Sports Illustrated, so I don't know what's going to happen now. Obviously, everything's on the internet, but it's kind of sad Sports Illustrated is going.
I wonder why that happened, but it is what it is. But
The internet.
yeah, right, yeah, that's true. So, but I'll go to you with final words first.
So pretty much, obviously appreciate everyone that was in the chat today and everyone that's going to watch the live streams later. If you didn't see on That's My Sports for Instagram, we are on Roku TV. So anyone who has Roku, you can check us out. There's a lot of also good content creators in the Roku stream that we are in. A lot of good movie reviewers and such. So go check them out as well. Appreciate everyone that has subscribed to us, has either downloaded for the audio. Wouldn't be able to do this without you. Also, too, if you like depressed Eagle fans, check out our last episode with Rose Gold Dirty. He also has a new album coming out, hopefully soon. He didn't say when, but definitely going to be coming out soon. And just appreciate everyone that has been following us. Obviously, if there's anyone out here or anybody if anyone likes Boston sports, Hollywood Ray is actually leaving here in a little bit, and he'll be doing Missing the Points, so check them out as well. There's a lot of good guys on that one. And also for me, I am doing the Shay and Aaron show for soccer. That'll be out on Sunday. That's going to be a live stream with me and Shay. We're going to get everything going on with soccer. Just trying to expand a little bit more for That's My Sports. And also, too, I am on Feeling Blue and Blue Shirts Banner, which is a Giants and Rangers pod with CPNY Sports and others. And we have a little comment here from the Athena channel. Have you seen the videos of remote control basketball? Could footballs be controlled because it seems suspicious?
I have not heard about that.
I haven't either, but I could see that in all honesty.
Yeah,
for the NFL being like that, but
yeah.
And but as always, Black people matter.
Yeah. So like I echo the same sentiments as Aaron just mentioned. We were at 89 subscribers. I don't know if that's changed since the beginning of the show. But we are, like I said, we're inching ever so closely to, to that 100 mark. So like I said, I think we had talked about us being at 75 not too long ago. So like I said, yeah. So please, keep spreading the word, keep hitting that subscribe button. Because like I said, it is helping us out in ways that you cannot imagine. Yeah, like I said, let's check out look out for that soccer show later on this week. Look out for anything on a CPNY Sports Full Court Press. Any of the guys that's been across the Cavs and any of those shows that have been. And I know I'm missing some, so forgive me for those that listen to us religiously. And I didn't state your show, but those are just a few that come to mind because we will always see you in our mentions. So we thank you for the we're waiting for the future collaborations as well. Because we just don't want it to be us. We would love for y'all to come on or vice versa. So yeah, like I said, check me out on Missing the Point as well. Check Aaron out on his shows as well. And Ryan, I'm coming back soon. I know we had talked for Raw Mind Sports. I will be back soon on there. I'm a mess with you about your Bills pick. You was high on the Bills like me, so that fell through. And I want my shirt because I was right about the Jets too. I want my T-shirt. So I'm gonna send you my email for that. But as always, Black Lives Matter, and I just want to get in for you. So stay tuned.
Yep. Also, Variety Sports Network as well.
Yes.
We definitely comment with them. Would definitely love to collab as well. And one more real quick. I don't know enough about NFL to know if the ball movement seems sus. Maybe they miss all the time and it's normal. I mean, there's a lot of things that have happened in the NFL that seem scripted. I mean, heck, we've even called one of our episodes the NFL script was perfect. So they just pick and choose who they want. Tim Donaghy wasn't the only one in the basketball world to script games. It happens in the NFL all the time. We've seen too much of that. But also, love your 5 guys. Appreciate it. There is 3 of us on here, so we're all trying to expand as much as we can with the channel as well. Mm-hmm. Thank you for tuning in. And I think that should be everything for That's My Sports for tonight. We are doing a Royal Rumble show. I believe either we'll do it Sunday in the afternoon or kind of near the night, but we'll definitely put it up on all of our channels and such when we'll be doing that. So yes, we will see you when we see you. To quote Hollywood Ray, peace.
Tie this game at 60.